1-4 now, and let me tell you what they need to do right now. The New York Football Giants need to sign Colin Kaepernick right now. They need a dynamic quarterback, a starting caliber NFL quarterback, which Kaepernick is, to pair with the best, the most talented wideout I have ever seen, and yes, that includes Randy Moss in Odell Beckham Jr., and the most talented running back prospect I've ever seen in Saquon Barkley. Not to mention Evan Ingram when he comes back. I like the defense on this team when Olivier Vernon comes back. Betcher's defense, I like that. I think they'll be getting more sacks and all that. I like the team. They're going to figure out right tackle eventually. They have to, but the line is in much better shape than it used to be. But the quarterback play is killing this team. Now, does Kaepernick walk in off the street and become the starter? Of course not. But they're 1-4 now. The season's lost. And if it's not lost, if they make a comeback,
season's
great.
not lost at all, man.
Well, great. If they can come back because the division's weak, if Washington loses tonight, good for them. And then they can develop Kaepernick as an answer because Eli ain't going to do this next year. And Loletta, I don't think, is going to be ready next year anyway. But Kaepernick might be ready to play if he gets involved in the system right now by the late of this year. And by the way, if they do start to make a run, but Eli's play starts to falter, you have an option there. You can't run RPOs with Eli Manning. Can you imagine running them with Saquon Barkley when you have Odell Beckham Jr. and Evan Ingram with a guy as dynamic as Kaepernick? And think about this, guys. The day he signs with the New York Football Giants, if nothing else, you know what the #1 selling jersey on planet Earth is in any sport? Number 7, New York Giants. That'd be #1 right away. He will be the biggest star in the biggest market. Everyone says, oh, he plays in San Francisco because it's a blue state. How about New York City? They need him right now, and they need to start developing him in their system right now. He's the best available answer at quarterback, and the Giants need an answer at quarterback.
You finished?
Sure.
That was an ignorant position to take, as far as I'm saying about Colin Kaepernick. I use the word ignorant because you sit up there and talk like this. We just saw this brother last week, and he can ball. Colin Kaepernick, the last time we really saw this guy, he was 1-10 as a starter. 3-16 in his last 19 starts. Career-wise, he's completed less than 60% of his passes. Now, there's no question he would be an upgrade. Anybody would be an upgrade from Eli Manning when it comes to running the football from the quarterback position because we know that Colin Kaepernick can move. But when you talk about Ingram and you talk about Odell Beckham Jr. and you talk about Sterling Shepard and you talk about Saquon Barkley out of the backfield, I love how y'all talked about Colin Kaepernick like this brother, like we just saw him last week. The man has not really played football in 2 years. And one would argue 4 because he really hasn't had an opportunity to do much since Jim Harbaugh left. Because that was the quarterback that believed in him, and the San Francisco 49ers as an organization was an absolute mess his last 2 years there, particularly with Chip Kelly. Don't get me started with that. So when you look at it from that perspective, thinking that Colin Kaepernick gets to walk off the street and all of a sudden he's going to be this dude. We want Colin Kaepernick to have a job in the NFL, just like we're happy Eric Reed has a job in the NFL. I definitely believe in Colin Kaepernick as an athlete. But when we talk about dropping back to pass the football, the fact of the matter is there is no evidence to support that this dude can just come in and
I'm not saying start him right away, but you got to bring him in at some point to learn a system.
But what you're saying is when you bring him in, you're giving up on the season. The season's over. Eli Manning is not the answer when they're still very much in the hunt. This division isn't the best division in football. The best guys up there are 2-3 right now. So they're definitely still in the hunt for all of this, and they have to figure out how to just get some wins together. They played a really good Carolina team and had a chance to win. It took a record-breaking field goal to win the game. So I think they still have an ability to win games and be in the hunt and make this thing come down to the end.
Why do you say you're giving up on the season if you sign Kaepernick? I'm not saying start him right away, but sign him.
You just said
have an option. No.
You just said they need an answer at quarterback.
Why would you suggest bringing him on?
Guys,
why?
Because if you have Kaepernick on the team now, and the Giants find out a way to scrap their way back into this season.
With
and it's
Eli
late,
is what you're saying.
With Eli, and Eli starts to falter because they may do it in spite of Eli, the way they were in that game in spite of Eli yesterday. Then you at least have an option. And next season, if Lalletta's not ready, if you don't have, there's no obvious quarterback in this draft, guys. There's no week 1 ready to start quarterback. Lalletta may have potential as like a Chad Pennington type guy eventually. It ain't going to be next year. And if Eli gets worse, which is likely, he cannot start next year. So you need someone on your team who knows how to play with these guys, who knows the system.